Hi, this is ZacharyMcNulty, and this is Mini Project 2 with turtle drawing. Here's what the finished project will look like. Lots of triangles. And here are some formulas I'll start with. I have the variables h for the height of the triangle from tip to base here. I have this length of the side of the triangle as z, and z over 2, or half of z, for my half the base. And my radius is going to be h over 3, height over 3. And I find h by taking the square root of z squared minus z over 2 squared. And you'll see that in my code in a second. So here is the code. I import the turtle module, I import the random module, and I import the math module. I title my screen, I title my turtle Muffin after my cat, and I have the speed set at 1, which is rather slow, so I can show you some stuff while it's moving in slow motion. Pen size of 3, and here's a list that I start at the beginning with lawn green, cyan, purple, and orange red for the colors of my triangles. And here, before I start, I'll talk about my parameters, which are z, x, and y, and d. Z is the length of the side of my triangle, just like you saw in the formula. X and y are my x and y coordinates. And d is my set heading parameter, which you'll see later in here. And so the function creates a unit that will draw a triangle within a circle and execute a random walk within it without going over the radius. Here's the formula for the height of a triangle. Looks a little bit different when it's in code. Z squared minus z over 2 squared, and then I multiplied it by the exponent 1/2, which is the same thing as square rooting the whole thing. And my radius equals the height of a triangle over 3. And there it is, all spelled out for you. So I'm going to have it run in the background while I am talking. Over. Okay, so the first thing that happens is I set heading D, and that's either going to be 0 or negative 60 degrees, which I'll get to down below. I pick up my pen, I head to the center of the circle, which is set by the parameters on the bottom, and I'll show you later. So I head forward the distance of the radius. You'll see that right in here. I turn left 90 degrees. I move backwards about the length of half of the side, half of z, and I make my triangle. So I go forward the length that I make the side, I turn 120 degrees 3 times, and that's what makes my triangle over here. You can see that. 1, 2, 3. I pick the pen up, I go back to the center, I go forward the distance of the radius, I turn left 90, I put the pen down, I draw my circle, and you can see that right there where I start moving and draw the circle. I pick the pen up, I go back to the center again, and I put the pen down, and I save the position of x and y because I'm going to need that for my next formula, which is the distance formula. And that is the difference between x and x2 and y and y2, which could also be the origin of my circle. 0, 0, whatever the distance is between however much I'm moving, and you'll see in this formula here. And then I set x2 and x1, or x2 and y2 to equal x and y. And so I do the formula. So while the distance between where the turtle's at now and where I started, which is the center of the circle, is less than the value of the radius, I am going to turn to the left a random integer between 0 and 360 degrees, well 359 because 360 equals 0, and then move forward 1/6 of the radius. So I do 1, 2, and then I reset to recalculate, 1, 2, reset, until it equals more than the radius. Once it happens, I undo that last one so it looks pretty and stays within the circle. You can see my turtle is randomly moving around until it hits right about where the radius is going to be, goes past it, that erases, and then it shoots down to the next triangle. There it goes. So, row of triangles. So now I got my triangle done. Now I repeat the triangle down 5 times. My parameters here are z, which is the side of a triangle, and d, the heading. So this function takes my triangle function and repeats it 5 times. That's essentially what it's doing. I reassign x and y here as muffin position, which is putting it to the current position. And then for basically, I'm just repeating it 5 times. The way that I move it down is z is still going to be the same length of the side of the triangle. X is still going to be the same coordinate it goes to, because I'll move it from x. And then y is going to be y minus z, the length of, so the side of the triangle. It's dropping down z length every time it comes down. So z minus whatever loop I'm on of the for loop. So the first time it goes through, it's going to be 0, so it's just going to start back at the top. The next time it comes through, it's going to be wherever y was minus z 1 time. The next time it's going to come up and go down 2 times. So that is what it's doing, or rather it's going to keep going down. Picks the pen up, brings it back to the top at the end of it. So it brings it right back up to where it started. So the first time it brings it back up to where it started, well, I guess we'll get there in a second. And then the final code that I have here is the one that you're going to input on. It's going to have start position, and a start x coordinate, start y coordinate, which is right here spelled out, and and z is the length of the side there. So here's my formula again, and there's my radius, there's Muffin picking up the pen, going to the start position, and then starting the actual the code of the rows. So I pick my pen color, and I do this by the color, which is 0 plus j, the number of times through my range, so it's going to be 0, 1, and 2. 0, 1, 2, so 3 times. Pick the pen up, I go forward, so I'm at the top here, and I go forward 1, 2 radii. And then I put the pen down, and I do my row of triangles. So every time it repeats, it's going to be this right here. It's going to be 0 or negative 60 or also negative 120. So 1, and then I go 0 degrees, then I go 60 degrees. So up to the top, I don't rotate at all. I go forward 2 radii, and then the next time I go up to the top and I turn, and I'm going to come down, which you're going to see right now. It's going to come up to the top. Come on, turtle. Up to the top, turn, go down, and make my last triangle of this range here. And I played around with this for a while, but I thought this just ended up being the easiest way to do it. So for the last one, instead of rotating on top of this triangle and reprinting it the whole thing, I had it change to the last color, L3, pick it up, set the heading to 0 degrees, so it's going to come and go straight across when I move it forward 2 radii. And instead of going negative degrees, I'm having it spin positively. So it's moving forward, but the heading is going to be pointed up this way. So I'm going to run it for you at full speed. Here's my input. X is at 100, Y is at negative 150. Oh, sorry. The side of my triangle is at 100, X is at negative 150, and Y is at 220. Up to the top. Get out of here, turtle. Change the speed to 0, extra fast, and there it goes. So there you see it. The turtle went back up to the top. I didn't make it disappear. But that's it. Thanks for watching, and that's all I got for you.